Welcome back to our second session, Audrey and Marcia and Noah. I enjoyed meeting you last time, and last time we talked about kind of the nuts and bolts of how we'll operate things, our meeting times, and what our our expectations are for therapy, and some of the rules that I'm bound by, and so on. And and then also we got a chance to get into a little bit of your story, like what brings you into therapy. So I thought if you wouldn't mind if I take a couple minutes to kind of review what that's about. But because I think it'll serve two purposes: to kind of like summarize, get us caught up, and also to make sure that I heard you correctly. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. So Noah, so my understanding is that, and so I guess I'm at the moment kind of talking to you, Marcia, the mom, and that Noah's been getting in trouble at school. He's cuts class sometimes. He's not getting good grades. You're getting calls from the teacher and from the vice principal about discipline issues, and you've been frustrated about how to help improve his behavior. Am I remembering that well?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And then Audrey, I remember hearing some from you that you're Noah's grandmother, but you're not Marcia's mother. You're Noah's father's mother.
Yeah, my son Julian.
Your son Julian, okay, and that you live in the home with them, and so it's just the three of you living in the home.
Correct.
Okay. And I recall you saying that you own your own business, and you, as a result of that, you have some flexibility in your schedule, and you're able to help with some of the just kind of taking care of Noah, making sure he gets to school and back, and things like that.
Yeah, I own a cleaning business, so I can schedule my own clients, and I try to make it during the day when he's at school so I can take him and pick him up.
Okay. Good. And I recall, Marshall, you saying that your job is a little less flexible, that you kind of have more set hours and.
Yeah, they're pretty strict on me being there every day, 8 hours, sometimes more.
Okay. And so Noah, I already kind of talked to your mom and described some of the things that were going on with you. I remember so first I'd like to ask you if it is true that that you've been in trouble at school.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
At least from the adults in the school perspective, there's been some things that they haven't liked that you've done, and they've got some discipline for that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so I think maybe a good place to start would be to ask you, Noah, to tell me more about that, because even I think by just that brief interaction I had with you, I can tell that there's more to the story than that. So what can you tell me? Can you tell me what goes on in school? Why does your mom think there are problems there, and that kind of thing?
Well, I think that people make a big deal out of things, and I feel like I'm not being understood. They take every little thing I do as a problem, you know. I do get in arguments with other people in class.
But is it ever teachers or vice principal, or is it just other kids?
Well, I guess other kids and teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time what was the last kind of discipline that you received at school? What was the consequence for the last consequence that you received at school? What was it?
I guess I got suspended.
You got suspended. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many days?
I don't know, 3.
3 days. Okay. And so, can you tell me what was what did they say that you did that caused you to be suspended for 3 days?
Well, somebody in the classroom provoked me, so I punched them.
Okay. All right. So fighting. All right.
Mhm.
And but it was that you were provoked.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Marcia, tell me about that. Like more about what this particular incident. Like what. I mean, what's your perspective? What did you hear from the, from the vice principal? What did you hear from Noah? How did you reconcile any differences or?
Well, honestly, I think it started when the school had an event where fathers were asked to come and help, and Noah got a little bit upset because his father is in prison, and so he wasn't able to come. And ever since then, Noah's just kind of had an attitude. He's been getting in those fights at school. He's been asking more and more about his dad. So I think possibly it could be that that kid was talking about his dad, honestly.
Okay, all right. So that's, I think I picked up a little of this last week, and that is one of the issues here is that Noah hasn't seen his dad for how long?
It's been about probably 10 years.
Okay, all right. And why is that? What is the reason? I think Audrey, you had some input on that as to why Noah hasn't seen his father.
Well, he did leave the home when Noah was, I believe, 2 or 3. I wasn't living with them at this point, and Marcia and I have different ideas as to why he left, but I do feel very angry with Marcia because I've offered time and time again to take him to the prison to see his dad.
Okay.
He said that he would like to go, and I know my son Julian would probably like to see him. I haven't heard that from him, but I know he would. It's his son, and I think it's unfair that Marcia won't let him go.
Okay, all right. So I think I found out a little bit about some of the things that are going on, and I'd like to move on to. I have some questions that I'd like to try to ask each of you. So I'm going to start with Audrey. So first of all, could you answer this question? I'll read all 3 questions, and then I'll go back to them one at a time. So the first question is, who am I? And the meaning of that is, and this question is in this context is within this family. Who am I? What is my role? What do I give? What do I give to this family? And then the third question is going to be, what do I need? So, so can you answer that first question? Who am I in this family?
I would say that I am Noah's grandma, and that's the most important role to me. Other than that, I would say that I am a provider for the family. I provide in different ways, but I think that is kind of in regards
So those are some of the things that you get. That's
like financially, I help with the bills, and then I also do the majority of the cleaning, majority of taking care of Noah, like I said, getting him to and from school, packing his lunches, making him his dinner. I always have dinner ready for Marcia. So I would say that I do the majority of the household stuff.
Okay. And then, thank you. That's great. Those are good. And then, what do you need? Are there and I guess also if you could answer, are there things that you need that you don't feel like you're getting?
Yeah, I would say that I need more support or help from Marcia. I feel like because my son is incarcerated, she expects me to raise her son, and I just don't think that's fair. I think she needs to be more in the picture. She is his mom, and he needs his mom. He's already missing his dad, and I also feel that I need to be able to take Noah to see my son.
Okay.
I think it's unfair for him to have to be without his father, and if I'm perfectly willing to make that happen, I don't understand why it shouldn't.
Okay. All right. Marcia, could you answer those 3 questions? They were, who am I in this family? What do I give and what do I need?
Yes. Okay, so I am Noah's mom. What do I do?
What do I need? what do I give?
What do I give? I've given years of my life to Noah. I gave up my education to raise him on my own. I work as many hours as I can, and off, I try to be there as much as I can for Noah. And then, what do I need?
Yes, what do you need?
I think I need some recognition for what I do, what I'm able to do, and for the years that I did it alone.
Okay.
Because Noah and I were abandoned.
For the recognition, that you need recognition. So is it fair to say that you don't feel like you're getting recognition now for those things?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you like to have the recognition from? Is it from Audrey? Is it from Noah? Is it from both? Or
It's a little bit from Noah, mostly from Audrey.
okay. All right. Thank you. So no, I'm gonna ask you the same 3 questions. So, who am I? It's the first question. What do I give to this family, and what do I need?
Well, I feel like I mean, I don't know who I am, I haven't seen my dad in a long time, or I don't remember ever, having a conversation with him,
Okay.
so if there's something that I need, and I want to see my dad, I want to ask questions, I want to get answers.
Okay.
I don't know, what do I give? I guess based on, my mother's nagging, I guess I'm a problem.
Okay.
Mhm. So,
All right. What about what do you give to the family?
I don't know.
Maybe just being a kid. Maybe just being a son. I mean, the children are, can be a joy to a blessing to their parents. So.
Well, apparently not in this family. Well, maybe my grandma, because she spends a lot of time with me.
Okay.
You're a great grandson and a great child. I'm sorry your mom can't see that.
Okay. So, uh, let me ask, Marcia, what are some sacrifices that you feel that you're making for the family?
Well, the reason I'm in the position at work I'm in is because I wasn't able to get my college education. I sacrificed a lot of time for that.
How many hours do you work, if you don't mind me asking?
It's honestly, it's always over 40. It's supposed to be 40, but it's always over. It varies.
Okay.
But I do feel like that's one of my biggest sacrifices. I want to be with Noah at home, but I'm not able to. I don't have a personal life at all because
Okay.
I'm either working or I'm at home.
Okay. Mhm. How about you, Audrey? What sacrifices do you make for the family?
I would say that I don't see them as sacrifices because I enjoy doing them for Noah. Where I get frustrated is in hearing Marcia say that she basically blames Noah for her lack of education and for her lack of a social life. How is that his fault?
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that it is, and if anything, I'm blaming your son. He's the reason why I was able to do that.
Because you got pregnant, it's his fault?
No, because he left.
Okay, but that's a whole different story as to why he left.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing we want to bring out, So I'm glad that we're having this discussion, and I thank you, all of you, for sharing for sharing this so far. So, and we're out of time for this session, so we'll wrap it up here, and we're going to pick up here where we left off. I got a chance to ask about the sacrifices question with Audrey and Marcia, but next week that's probably what we'll pick up, is asking Noah that question. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.